Persuasive. Becoming persuasive is a skill that requires understanding human psychology, mastering communication techniques, and being attuned to the nuances of timing and context. This skill is highly useful across various facets of life, from convincing a team at work to adopt a new strategy, to persuading a friend to try a new experience. Here's how you can become more persuasive, illustrated with examples for clarity. First and foremost, credibility is the cornerstone of persuasion. Without it, your chances of persuading anyone are slim. Establish your credentials before diving into your argument. For example, if you're trying to persuade your team to adopt a new software tool, begin by detailing your research on its efficiency, user reviews, and how it outperforms alternatives. This foundation lends weight to your subsequent points. Equally important is the ability to understand your audience. Different people are motivated by different things, and grasping these motivators allows you to tailor your argument for maximum impact. If you are trying to persuade your parents to let you go on a backpacking trip, emphasizing the educational and personal growth aspects might be more effective than talking about how much fun you'll have. Effective persuasion also involves structure and presentation. Start with a clear, compelling introduction that outlines what you're going to discuss and why it's important. For instance, if you're giving a sales pitch, you might start with a startling statistic related to your product, capturing immediate attention and establishing the need for your product. Follow this up with logically organized points that flow naturally and end with a strong conclusion or call to action. Logical appeal alone is often insufficient. You need to connect on an emotional level as well. Use storytelling to make your argument more relatable and compelling. For example, if you're trying to persuade your community to fund a new playground, sharing a heartfelt story about how the existing playground equipment is outdated and potentially unsafe could serve as a potent emotional lever. Being persuasive also requires active listening and the ability to adapt. If you're in a negotiation and the other party raises an objection, rather than sticking rigidly to your script, listen carefully and adjust your argument to address the concerns raised. You might say something like, "I understand where you're coming from, and that's a valid concern. Here's how we can mitigate that issue." Concession is another effective persuasive technique. Acknowledging a valid point or concern from the other side not only builds credibility, but also often makes the other party more receptive to your viewpoint. For instance, if you're trying to persuade a friend to join you in starting a fitness routine, acknowledging the time commitment involved, but then emphasizing the longer-term health benefits can be a strong persuasive strategy. Another tactic in persuasion is the use of social proof. People are often more willing to take a specific action if they see others doing the same. For example, if you are trying to persuade your company to adopt sustainable practices, pointing out competitors or industry leaders who have successfully implemented such measures can add weight to your argument. Timing can be everything in persuasion. Knowing when to make your pitch can be just as important as the pitch itself. If your boss is stressed out with end-of-quarter reviews, that's probably not the best time to persuade her to launch a new project. On the other hand, pitching your idea right after a team victory could capitalize on the positive mood to garner support. To summarize, becoming more persuasive involves a blend of credibility, understanding your audience, effective structure and presentation, emotional appeal, active listening and adaptability, strategic concessions, social proof, and timing. By consciously incorporating these elements into your persuasive efforts, you'll become a more compelling and effective communicator capable of swaying opinions and inspiring action.